Hey guys, back for another round of Super Rugby predictions. So apologies for this one being a bit late. Been a bit under the weather, but yeah, all recovered. And yeah. Firstly, last week, how did we go last week? Full house. Yeah! Full house. All of them right. So I'm pretty chuffed about that. After the week before came, bounced back, and a pretty decent round there for me as well. Let's start off with the South African games and just how the South African teams are going to do this week. First up, Bulls in Tokyo. Sunwolves. Sunwolves have been tricky, they've been tough. Look what they did to the Stormers down there. And the Bulls struggle against them at Loftus as well. And certainly going to favour the home side playing at home there in Tokyo. But the Bulls have got enough firepower. They've got to come right at some point. Some point they're going to get the finishing right, which they haven't done to the season yet. I still think they're going to win. I think it's not going to be a pretty game. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on the team. They'll win by 10 points, but it's not going to be pretty. If you're hoping for a runaway victory for the Bulls, you're probably going to be disappointed. But as long as they get the victory, I think that's the main thing. Then, secondly, next game, overseas game as well, the Kings against the Force. South Africa's 6th franchise against South Africa's 7th franchise. Dave Wessel's doing a good job there at the Force. I think the Kings will give them a good go, but I don't think it's going to be good enough to take down the Force. I think the Force will win this one. A rare moment for Australian rugby, and they'll take this one very close. I think 3 to 5 points there. The Kings will give a good account of themselves there. Then the two big South African games, the Sharks, Jaguares. Sharks were extremely physical against the Lions last week. If they can repeat that and keep their head, they can take the Jaguares. The one thing that's worried me about the Jaguares is that the fact that teams have been sending weekend teams to Argentina, giving them a bit of an easier run, and they got good wins against the Lions and the Cheetahs because of that, and they built up a bit of momentum now after their win against the Reds as well. Sharks are going to be a different kettle of fish. This is crucial for the Sharks if they want to keep in touch with the Lions for the conference, and they need this one to win. I think the Sharks are going to probably do it. Big physical pack. It's not going to be a pretty game. I think it's going to be an arm wrestle, but the Sharks should come through by 3 to 5 points. In fact, make that 5 to 7 points. I think they're good enough to do that. Kerwin Bosch, if he has a great game, it might even be more. But I think the Sharks are good enough to win this one. Then you look at the Stormers Chiefs, and you remember that the Stormers took 50 last year in the quarterfinal from the Chiefs. They'll be better prepared this time. They're playing really a good brand of rugby last week against the Cheetahs. A lot of momentum, a lot of confidence in their side. And I think they're doing pretty well. They had a couple of injuries, but they backed the next guy. And I think they've still got enough firepower there to challenge the Chiefs. I think this Chiefs side is a very good side there. I think they know how to win when things don't go right, and the Bulls played them the right way. If the Stormers can do the same, they'll have a chance. But to be honest, I think the Chiefs are going to come away with a victory. Yeah, it's going to be a closer game than last year, but I still think 5 to 10 points for the Chiefs. Let's look at those other games. The Hurricanes against the Waratahs. I think the Hurricanes are too strong. Waratahs they look better. They're getting better every week, but they're not out the woods yet. It's not never, as somebody said to me last week, you never back Australian team against a New Zealand team, not at this stage. And I think the Hurricanes are just so much firepower. They're so in touch with where they want to be. Hurricanes by 7 to 10. Okay, then we look at some of the other games. Reds, Brumbies. That's going to be an interesting tussle for the Australian conference. I think the Brumbies have probably got a little bit more firepower there. The Reds have been looking a little bit better every week, but yeah, to be very honest, I think the Brumbies will take that one. It's not going to be a pretty game. I'm not sure how many people are going to watch it, but I think it's definitely a game for the Brumbies to take there. Brumbies by 10 points. The other two, the one New Zealand derby, the Highlanders Blues, that's going to be a good game. It's going to be an interesting one to watch. The Blues really have built up a bit of momentum now since they beat the Bulls. But are they good enough to beat the Highlanders? I think the game's done in Dunedin, Forsyth Bar Stadium. If it was in Auckland, I'd give them more of a chance, but I think it's going to be a good derby, good to watch. Lots of tries, high-scoring game, but the Highlanders should come through by 5 to 7 points.